All right, we are back. It is July 24th. And your Detroit Lions have taken the field for their first full training camp together. The vets and the rookies are on the field. But before today's practice, Dan Campbell blessed us with a press conference to address some concerns, obviously talk about the team. And there was a few things that popped up today that didn't make us feel easy, maybe a bit queasy. And yes, I'm being just a little bit cheesy, but I got to tell you, I'm excited about this season. I'm excited about the Detroit Lions. I'm not really that worried just yet with some of these injuries and what's going on with the PUP and the NFI list. Here's a question for you. With all this talk about, the Detroit Lions potentially having an issue with Amon-Ra St. Brown's injury designation in week 3 to 4 last season, do you think he's playing with the list right now? Do you think he's messing with putting everybody up on PUP and then NFI and then changes the next day and then maybe we'll see changes tomorrow? Just a thought. I doubt it. I don't think Dan Campbell's that petty. But let's get into it. What are we talking about today? So we've got 4 Lions additional today. Like I said yesterday, when the vets show up today, do not be surprised if we have more players that are going to end up on the PUP list today. And that's exactly what has happened. 4 more players have now ended up on the PUP list or the NFI list to start the season. But let's start with the good news. I'm sure you guys love the good news first, right? So let's get into the good news first. To start the day, Lions activated 3, put 4 on injury list to start the day. But Dan Campbell was asked about the starters placed on the physically unable to perform list. DJ Reader, edge rusher Marcus Davenport, and defensive back Brian Branch were all sidelined. And then also asked about Giovanni Manu. And Dan Campbell quelled the concerns regarding long-term issues or rehab setbacks. This is coming by ways of Justin Rogers, new Football Network. Congratulations again to him. Awesome work, dude. So here's the quote. We feel, Dan Campbell's quote, we feel like everybody's doing really well. They're on schedule for where we pictured them to be. To your point, we talked about Reader. Reader's on course, man. We are not in any hurry with him, but he's doing well. He's getting his strength back. The injury has healed. That's a great point that we know that it's healed. It's just a matter of getting him to that point where we now feel comfortable getting him out there competing around others. So like we mentioned the other day, like we expected DJ Reader was going to go through some of this stuff. Didn't really expect that he was going to be placed on PUP or NFI. Just thought that he'd be working through this stuff. I mean, they have plenty of time to put him on PUP or, something like that, or NFI, whatever, between now and the start of the regular season. So it was kind of weird that it happened so soon, but it is what it is. It was expected. But here was the great news. Remember when we said that they could come off the list at any point in time? Marcus Davenport was out at practice today. Brian Branch was out at practice today in a walkthrough. And Campbell's quote says, "These guys are slowly going. I think Davenport is going to be a little quicker than Brian Branch." What he means is getting back to the field in full capacity, but they'll both be out in there in some capacity, which is a good sign. So no setbacks. We're moving right along. So for everybody that was worried about Marcus Davenport, the Lions potentially making a bad move in the offseason is what was being said, the last couple of days. You know me, I wasn't in that boat. I got confidence in the dude right now until you show me something else. But Campbell had warned that Reader was likely to start camp on the PUP list. We expected that back in June. That the free agent addition had been recovering from the second torn quad of his career. I mean, this was no news. We knew this. But Branch and Davenport were formally activated off the PUP list just minutes after Dan Campbell left the podium. So, great news. Now, rookie tackle Giovanni Manu. He was placed on the NFI list over the weekend. So, in addition to that group of Branch and Davenport, the Lions still have Manu on the list from what I understand. So I think he's still on NFI, if I'm understanding this correctly. But then they transitioned to a few more players the veterans that were going to be starting camp on NFI. And those players are Carlton Davis, cornerback, Amik Robertson, cornerback, Donovan Peoples-Jones, wide receiver, Traquan Smith, wide receiver. So this, not great, right? Not great news. What has happened in the last 6 weeks or so, since these guys were in OTAs? Something has happened. Did they fail their conditioning test? Did they suffer a minor injury? Are they going to come off the list tomorrow? Is Dan Campbell being petty at this point? I don't think so. I really don't. Something obviously happened. So as Justin even says in his article here, something they have fallen short on, minor injury, or the conditioning test maybe just didn't go their way. Here's what I would say. If they failed their conditioning test, I would be pissed off if I was Dan Campbell. Like, there's no excuses to come into camp not ready to go. Sorry, doesn't work that way. Not in the grit city of Detroit. See what I did there? Not the great city, the grit city of Detroit. These are blue-collar workers that work hard. And if you're going to be on the Detroit football, sports team here, you got to work hard and you got to be ready to roll. So these guys need to get it together. Whatever's going on, I wish them nothing but the best. Obviously, if they're got a minor issue going on, let's get healed up. Let's go win the damn Super Bowl this year. So that's our news. But I wanted to bring in one other thing here, and that's because there was an NFL analyst that said that the Lions made one of the worst trades of the offseason. And since we're talking about one of these guys that it just so happens to be on the NFI list, then why not bring this to light? So this came from A to Z Sports. Let me bring it in for y'all. This came from A to Z Sports, Mike Payton, 21 hours ago. And welcome into the chat. I see you guys lighting it up in there. How you doing? So 21 hours ago, this is what he said. He said, I'll be fully honest with you guys. When the Detroit Lions made this trade, my initial thoughts were negative about the move. As time went by, I got to dig into the numbers, the film, and see him talk. My thoughts have completely changed. The Lions made the right move when they traded for cornerback Carlton Davis. I just, okay, I was probably in the same boat, right? I wasn't super excited about Carlton, but yes, the same thing happened to me too. The more I dug into the guy, the more I liked. I just want to see him on the field, right? But what he's talking about is, I believe he's talking about Tony Catalina, who has, targeted this trade as one of the worst, one of the 5 worst trades of the offseason. And he gives us a little refresher here, right? The Lions sent a 2024 third-round pick to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for Carlton Davis and a 2024 sixth-round pick, and we received a 2025 sixth-round pick in return. Now, I'm glad Mike Payton, brought this to light again, but here was Catalina's thoughts. The Lions are a good football team that was close to a Super Bowl appearance last season, so it makes sense for them to attack what many view as a weak spot by adding veteran Carlton Davis. However, Davis has been oft-injured player over the last 5 years, and 2023 wasn't his best statistical year. Maybe a change of scenery will do him some good, but with Detroit's approach to free agency and the draft, they may have been better served giving a younger guy a shot at winning a job. Did they not do that? I mean, they brought in Terrion Arnold and Ennis Rakestraw. So we're giving 2 guys an opportunity to win a job, if not both jobs. So just didn't make sense. But, when the injury crept up today, I'm thinking to myself, well, okay, here we go. This Catalina character is probably going to start writing more stuff like, see, I told you so. The dude can't even pass a conditioning test or can't even start training camp, and he's oft injured. So these are concerns, right? I mean, we don't know what we don't know. And part of that not knowing kind of leaves us out in no man's land, like what in the world is going on with Carlton. Hopefully, we'll be able to see him this week. All right, so with that said, let's do a pop-up ticket giveaway right now to somebody that's in the chat. So first one to respond with a date other than August 11th that you would like 2 tickets to a training camp date, go ahead, put it in the chat right now, and we'll make sure you get your tickets. You got 30 seconds. Here you go. First person. $20 seconds. $10 seconds. 5 seconds. Need someone to say they want to go. August 10th. There it is. Infernal Soap. So Infernal Soap, go ahead and email me, mailbag@rockedon.com. Wait a second. There is no August 10th date. Hold on. There is no August 10th date. It would be August 14th. So, yeah. You just had to put a date in of one of the Lions dates. So there is no August 10th that I know of. I don't think there is. Braylon Dennis, of course you want to go. Braylon, for you, I planned on let's get you hooked up for August 11th. So, yeah, you just had to put the actual date in the chat for what date you want to go. So you've got the 29th, the 30th. What do you got? The 1st, the 2nd, I think. Is there the 10th and the 11th? If there is the 10th, hold on a second. If there is the 10th Infernal Soap, we'll make sure that you get it. Maybe I'm having a mental lapse real quick. Hold on. Hold the phone here. I wasn't supposed to go this long on the live updated news, but you know how I like to do, man. We like to make people smile over here at Rock On Detroit Lions. We want to get them to camp so they can come see all this stuff. So, yeah, you had August 11, 12, which I don't have any extras on that day. August 14, August 2, August 1, July 31, July 30, July 29, my birthday. Braylon, I'll take care of you off air. I know I've got one for you. So August 14th to Infernal Soap. There you go. Gotcha. So just email me. Dennis Tidick, email me too at mailbag@rockedon.com. Hit me up. We'll get you a couple of tickets. That's the end of the pop-up ticket giveaway. And that's the end of this episode of Lions Breaking Camp Updates Injury News. I'll be going live potentially later today and get you guys some videos on the observations of today's first full Detroit Lions training camp. All right, you guys be great. Enjoy the rest of your day. We'll see you all in a little bit, I'm sure,